It's week 1 of the Lake Stevens Battle Association, season 12. And these are our 6 battles this week. We sorted by shortest to longest. And the one I was involved in, this one, was the shortest at only 12 turns. It went very badly for me. I planned it very meticulously, and something went differently than the way I had planned. And so he leads Cortana. I lead Carbink. Carbink would have beat any other lead, but he picked the one I was... the only possibility of him winning, he picked. And I was expecting a smart strike, so I switched into my steel resist, but he actually used his leaf blade, and I might have actually survived because it's max defense if I had used Trick Room. And this also got a crit. That's pretty bad. And this one beast boost. And now he has 50% plus 30%. So I don't know, is that 80 or is it weird compounded? And that gives him enough power to pretty much sweep my entire team because Cortana gets such a varied moveset. And obviously nothing I have is gonna outspeed 348. And I just get my one chance at Intimidate. If I was thinking about it, I would have switched in Mawile instead of Deoxys. Because I thought Deoxys could handle it, but no. And I think that was my big blunder, was not switching in Mawile before Deoxys. Not that it would have made me win. And I expected a switch into Toxapex, so I Thunder Punched. And I know that Mawile will die from this, and I put Assault Vest on my Dondozo. And if I was thinking about it, it would have been better to lead Deoxys, because I was a little worried about Chiyu, so that's why I led Carbink. But yeah, it would have been better to lead Deoxys D. I thought Mawile could survive 2 hits. I was wrong. I mean, I had data that would have contradicted that, but this week, Cortana got the most KOs out of every Pokemon. He got 5. I think besides the Stealth Rock, yeah, he got all of them. I estimated my chances of winning against everybody, and I had a 58% chance of winning that and a 42% chance of losing. Like, even if I do all this prep, my best matchup is still only 72% chance to win, because everybody, they're no slouches. And it really frustrated me for the next day how much of a game of chance this ends up being sometimes. If I was echoing, I think I fixed it. Next we have Azoth versus James, and this is a really interesting battle. He's changed his picture to the little Gen 1 bug sprite from Pokemon Yellow, and he's made all 12 of his Pokemon bug types, which is not normally a great way to do it, but he has done his best in spite of this handicap. And so he leads Leavanny, and he gets Charizard. And he uses Weather Ball, because that's what's popular. Because it's slightly stronger than Flamethrower, but had he used Flamethrower instead, this might have gone a little differently. And we find that he had Air Slash. He could have used Air Slash, but this Rain Dance was very interesting. He wanted to take advantage of the chlorophyll so that it could use it as a support set. And this is probably the most interesting play of the entire week right here. So he sacks his Leaveney. He's a little disappointed that he didn't get a sticky web up, but there really wasn't much he could have done instead. Because if he switched in Cleavor, then he would have just gotten a Weather Ball water. And so he gets a Quiver Dance off. Wait, did he switch out his Charizard? Okay, he wanted the sun back up as soon as possible, I guess. And so he Weather Balls here. He had Weather Ball on his Frosmoth. And this is pretty much the only situation it would have worked, and it worked. Because none of us know anything about Frosmoth. Frosmoth is like PU, and then it gets a Thunder Wave, but the Ice Beam off of the Quiver Dance ends up working. He brings the sun back. Fire. There's no good switch-ins for him. He doesn't have a Flash Fire Bug, because they don't exist. And, so this miss, if this miss had not happened, Azoth was primed to win here. But that's not what happened. So he, the Walking Wake survives with 36. I think if the Stone Axe had hit, this first impression might have KO'd. A slightly smarter thing would have been to send in Yanmega and protect and stall out the sun. But it doesn't make that big of a difference. He gets the speed boost. And he uses the one move that isn't affected by the sun being out. Flamethrower would have KO'd if he hadn't used Draco Meteor. Why didn't he Flamethrower the Yanmega? Anyway, that might have gotten him a point, but no one's caring enough to check. And then we get a Fire Punch off of the Regigigas. Hawlucha never gets sent out. So yeah, that was one of the most interesting plays of the whole week.
Hey Nana, hey Nana, hey Nana, hey lo. What's up guys, I just spawned in.
Alright, so this is Joey versus Taco. There's the Mamoswine, there's the Greninja, and Greninja uses Water Shuriken, and it almost KOs. If he had had loaded dice on it, Mamoswine would not be there. And Mamoswine goes for Stealth Rock instead of Superpower, and then gets knocked out by Brick Break, and then the Battle Bond procs on that Greninja, and that's pretty good.
I would just spawn in and be like, Gengar, get that blind.
The Fortress gets KO'd by the boosted Water Shuriken. He can't use Water Shuriken anymore because of Psychic Terrain, and I didn't see a hit point drop on Tapu Lele, so that means it's not Life Orb. And so an informed player may have switched in Nidoking instead. And Zapdos is getting hit by a Thunderbolt. Zapdos lives. He's hoping for the Discharge Paralysis. And He survives enough.
Tapu Lele should be just like his name that he gave it.
And if he wasn't choiced, he probably would have used Psychic or Psyshock.
Tom.
So it was never too late to switch in.
That Zapdos is named Tom.
It was never too late to switch in Nidoking. And then the entire remaining 4 are weak to ground. He,
You mean 3, right?
yes, and he protects to stall out his own psychic terrain and get his speed boost, which he needs to outspeed Zapdos, and now he can outspeed the whole rest of the team. And he just saw a Stone Edge, so Volcanion might not have been a good pick. And Ditto usually has Choice Scarf, so I think the Choice Scarf Blaziken might have beat him because he's very slow. Or because he's very fragile. And the Stone Edge misses! He hits him with the Earth Power. The remaining 2 are still weak to Earth Power.
Also, like and subscribe, guys. It really supports the channel. And we might even get a play button. I kind of want a play button.
And Volcanion should have stayed in and used Earth Power because there's nothing Volcanion can do later.
Also, please use the move finger on the notification bell so that you never miss a video.
And so the discharge ends up doing 56%, which is way too much.
I know.
And he's still not taking any Life Orb damage, so he still could have switched in Nidoking. And I think we see him switch out here, because it's also choice. And he goes for Flamethrower instead of Earth Power. Earth Power might have KO'd, but realistically, DNC could have KO'd this entire team after the Stealth Rocket.
There goes that person. Okay, so apparently just. What a creep. What a weird name. False. Okay, you just KO'd the whole entire team, you win.
And yeah, DNC was very strong against this team after Greninja was taken out.
He also had this weird Magnetite guy.
And next is Rossi versus Jack, and he leads with Milotic. Milotic walls this team very hard. So he gets the Fake Out, and the Fake Out does nothing to it. And with the Flame Orb, the other nice thing about that, instead of just proccing Marvel Scale, is that it prevents Glysaur from using Toxic on it.
Wait, you can chat in this game?
Yes. And Rossi brought Mr. Mime Galar, not even Mr. Rhyme. And so Jack flip turns into Gallade, knowing that he's completely safe to set up as much as he wants, because Mr. Mime can't do anything to anybody. And now he's just worried about the priority of the Sneasler. And since he's used close combat, it would do 50% more. And he switches into a neutral 2 poison. I think everything on Jack's team is physically invested.
Snow glue. Snow glue.
But Pelipper actually walls this team very well after Milotic gets taken out.
And then I fart between the battle.
And I don't know why he wanted to use Defog, because...
Me neither.
Yeah, he used Milotic a little too much against the only thing that can really check Milotic, his only special attacker on the whole team. But he wanted the Rain Scalds. And as long as something is faster than it, it's getting KO'd. And the close combat is resisted, so it only does 25.
Should have gone competitive for the boost. Jack, please.
And this part takes a while. There's a
I'm gonna go start the coffee pot. I'll be back. 07.
and so he substitutes to avoid the toxic, which is pretty good, but they both kind of heal. Ideally, he wouldn't have used 1,000 arrows so soon. He would have used a Dragon
I gotta
Dance.
take notes for my match next week.
Because he just healed all of the damage he did from the first 1,000 arrows, and if he had a second Dragon Dance, that might have gone really well for him. And he had 3 ice weaknesses, and we don't know if Pelipper had a ice beam. And it's so physically bulky from his investments that the fake out did nothing. He switches out so that he can have a second fake out, but fails to realize that he could have, that he was going to heal all of the fake out damage right back. And if he hadn't sent in Tyranitar, he might have had a chance with the... No, he doesn't get Swift Sim. I'm sorry. Disregard that.
I just dabbed, and then double dabbed, and then did 2 dabs at the same time. That'll probably get us some.
And if Dracovic was scarfed, he would have done double damage on his Vicious Wren.
Yeah.
But he got hit first.
I beat the system because one time I was on my Chromebook at school. I went to YouTube because I was trying to be sneaky, and I actually subscribed to your channel. So now you have an extra subscriber because of me.
Wow, thanks, bro.
I know, right?
And then Landorus ends up being faster than the Sneasler. I guess it had like hit points or something.
I have a leather set.
No, sorry.
Right now.
This is the one where if it was scarfed, it would have KO'd the Landorus. Unless they're both scarfed. This might be a scarfed Landorus. That would make sense.
Spranky.
And there's that. We have 2 more left. Next, we have Alex versus Chartwig, which I think was one of the most interesting battles of the week because they utilize a lot more support sets and a variety of strategies. So we get the burn guy. He's gonna try to burn everything. That's what Rodom's job is. And he resists the hurricane, and he survives. Tornadus survives the Volt Switch. He sends in Lopunny. There's a switch almost every turn. I think they're both pretty Volt turn teams, so... Rodom is looking for any opportunity to burn any of the physical attackers it can. And it looks like everything is ending up getting burned. We got Tornadus and Tinglu. But Cinderace cannot be burned. But he would be weak to water. And I think he said this was an assault vest, so that's why he's got this lash out that doesn't seem to do hardly any damage. And he expects a switch, so he uses Volt Switch. And that is our first KO on turn 9. Some of the battles have barely lasted that long. And he is stalling out to hit him with as many ceaseless edges as he can. Everything is missing this game. And the final ceaseless edge hit, and the final set of spikes hit. And that's exactly what he was expecting, because he wanted the court change. And he heals all the damage he took from ceaseless edge back from his drain punch. He expects a fake out, so he switches in his regenerator, and his regenerator can heal all the fake out damage in a single switch. Hurricane hits him. Terapagos basically has multi-scale. I don't know why they don't just call it multi-scale. So the first one doesn't do as much. He's got some type variety in his moveset. It stacks the next hazard because they're both such Volt turners that they expect hazards to be a big deal. And there's probably been 2/3 of switches. I don't think he expected Annihilate to have Defiant, and he switches in his Landorus. Annihilate goes down to a Lopunny return, and Caesar comes out for the first time this entire battle. And everything is going down to bullet punches. Oh, but the final flamethrower from Terapagos goes through. But he won't be fast enough or at high enough hit points to survive an encounter with Qianpao. And this is the most hazards stacked in this entire week. And they were all set up by Samurott. And finally, we have the longest battle, which is Dylan versus Rodney. And some pretty crazy stuff happens. The biggest threat is Urshifu. So if you have a way to take out Urshifu, that's probably a priority. And then this goes on for a while. He burns the Tapu Bulu. So even though... So there's a reflect and a burn. So even if it gets to 4 times attack, that's just its normal, ordinary attack. I don't think he really understood... Either of them understood what Corsola was doing. He seems to be kind of experimenting. Ideally, you'd want to set up the curse as soon as possible. But Strength Sap can be a nightmare. If you are not prepared for it, Strength Sap guys can wall your whole team. If you can't OHKO, then you're walled. So I just noticed that the chat was asking me a specific thing, whether something had ever gotten 3 statuses. Normally, you could get like burn and confuse. Now that's pretty common, but they are inquiring about the burn, curse, and disable status. And another dude, he's burning everything, just like Rotom Wash.
And this here was just luck, okay? He heals all of this back, because that's how powerful Strength Sap is. And the hexes are doing so much. It didn't get the most KOs, but this is... we're all agreeing it's the MVP. Rodney doesn't know what to do about it. He's low-key kind of sacking. And this crit, if he hadn't gotten this crit, he probably would have lost. And Arcanine Head Smash can do a lot. He's one of the biggest threats, especially with Sticky Web. That's a fantastic combo there. But I think Goodra could survive a Head Smash, but wouldn't be able to do anything in return. Yeah, Rodney's got some really big threats here. He's got Arcanine and Urshifu, and they're all coupled with Sticky Webs. And he goes for the Flare Blitz, and because Iron Valiant would have resisted Rock. And he's letting him set up as much as he wants. But I guess that is sort of the smartest thing. Especially if you've got a Aqua Jet. And I think if Dylan had gone for Earthquake or whatever his other attack was, that might have worked. It's just we all didn't really... It's hard to remember that Unseen Fist exists, because we don't use Protect in OU all that often. And that one goes to Rodney. That was a fantastic week 1, guys. Let's hear it up for week 2.